Hi, welcome to beginner yoga. Thanks for showing up to practice today. Let's start seated on a nice folded blanket or block, starting to lift the hips a little higher than the knees. Come to a nice comfortable seat. Begin to lift up through the crown of your head and ground down through the sits bones. Nice deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. Beginning to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Find yourself with a nice long spine here. Gently closing the eyes or giving a nice soft gaze towards the floor. Just beginning by breathing in and out through the nose. Beginning to notice the quality of your breath. Just begin to notice whether or not the breath gets stuck at the top of your inhale or at the bottom of your exhale. Or maybe anywhere in between. From here, moving right into 3-part breath. On your next inhale, begin to fill the lower lobes of your lungs, the middle of your lungs, and the upper lobes of your lungs. Exhaling will reverse, emptying the upper lobes of your lungs, the middle lobes of your lungs, and reaching all the way down to the lowest lobes of your lungs, emptying out all of that stale air as you gently draw your navel toward your spine. Keep going, inhaling, filling the lungs from the lower to the upper lung. And emptying the lungs. And as we move through our practice today, remembering to focus On your breath, all of your postures become secondary to the breath. On your next exhale, drop your chin to chest. Allow your head to be nice and heavy and your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. We'll just work this curvature in the neck, inhaling ear to shoulder, exhaling to center, and inhaling toward the other side. Just starting to wake the body up here, starting to open up. Keep moving at your pace with your breath. And then hang out here with right ear over the right shoulder. Draw the left shoulder back and down, and even maybe make a few circles with this left shoulder. And then go ahead and draw it back and down. Create that space. Breathe into those tight areas in the neck. Turn your gaze towards your mat. Breathe. Exhale to center. Inhale toward the other side. A few circles with this right shoulder. So left ear is over the left shoulder. And then just go ahead and draw that right shoulder back and down. Create the space. Open up. Breathe. Turn your gaze towards your mat. Breathe. Exhale to center. And then go ahead and inhale your head up. A few shoulder rolls once more. And let's go ahead and switch your feet. So opposite foot in front here. Go ahead and extend your arms out in front of you, shoulder height. We're going to start to press through the palm. So press through the heel of the hand. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Inhale. And then exhale, fingertips come down, pointing towards the floor. Nice stretch for the wrist here. Inhale, press through the heel of the hand. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Exhale. Fingertips come down. So let's continue here. Just keep moving through at your own pace with your breath. After your last exhale, let's bring the fingers together. Interlace the fingers. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and start to pull apart the fingers here. So we're just, creating some space in between the joints of the fingers. Keep pulling, keep breathing. One more time. And then go ahead and interlace your fingers. We're going to keep the elbows at shoulder height and just start to rotate the elbows. Nice and slow. Let's do this nice and slow to begin with. So you can do this a little quicker if you like, but I just encourage you to move slowly and just notice areas of tightness in the body. Release your grip. Shake out your hands. Bring your hands to your knees or your thighs and just give a few shoulder rolls once more. Back and forward a few times. Open the arms nice and wide. Exhale, give yourself a little hug. Inhale, open. Exhale, opposite arm on top. Once more, each side. And release. Shake out the hands once more. And since we're still seated, maybe go ahead and switch your feet once more. From here, I'd just like for you to place your right palm down into your mat. Start to lean into that hand. Maybe bend your elbow slightly, and then inhale, left arm comes up and over. So we're just opening up the side body and maybe even looking towards the armpit. Start to breathe in to that side body. Make sure both of your sits bones are still on your blanket or your mat. Make your way back up to seated. Maybe a little twist side to side for just a moment. We're going to plant left hand down this time. Maybe start to lean into that left hand. Keep the heart lifted. Keep the spine nice and long here. We're sort of hinging at the hip crease. So leaning into that left hand, slight bend in the left elbow is okay. Inhale, reaching right arm up and over. And again, we're opening up the side body here. So start to maybe look towards the right armpit if it feels okay to the neck and shoulders. If not, just keep your gaze forward. And then inhale, make your way back up. Again, a little twist to either side can feel good after that. And I'm just going to do that once more on each side. So planting right hand down into your mat. Keep the heart open. Maybe leaning into that right hand, slight bend in the elbow. Inhale, reaching left arm up and over. Again, looking towards the armpit if it feels okay to the neck and shoulders. Otherwise, just keep your gaze forward. Breathe. Inhale your way back up. This time, I just want to do a little deeper twist here. So bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Left hand comes behind. Exhaling as you twist and start to look over the left shoulder. Inhale your way back to center. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Right hand comes behind. Inhale. Exhale as you start to twist and look over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. We're going to place the left hand down onto the mat. Start to lean into that left hand. Again, keep the heart nice and open. Inhale, right arm comes up and over. 3 breaths into the right side body. Inhale your way back up to seated. And again, a gentle twist to either side. So bringing the left hand to the outside of that right knee, right arm comes behind you, fingertips towards the mat. Inhale as you lift up through your heart. Try not to arch your back here. Exhale, twist a little deeper, maybe looking over that right shoulder, maybe just keeping your gaze forward. Inhale back to center. Twist towards the other side here. We're going to bring right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, this left arm comes behind. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, turn your gaze towards the shoulder here. And then inhale back to center. Let's just give a few more shoulder rolls here. And I'd like to go ahead and come off of the blanket now. Actually, if you want, you can keep the blanket here and then turn it towards the front of the mat. Just have a seat on the blanket. I'm using socks, I'm a little cold today, so I'm trying to keep my body temperature nice and warm. So go ahead and maybe sit on a blanket. That can help to lift your hips a little higher. And when you're ready to come into a forward fold from seated, you can maybe fold forward a little more if it feels okay to you. Otherwise, so from here, we're just going to do a few circles with the ankles. So you can bring your hands to your thighs or even place them down onto the blanket next to you. Exhale as you press the toes away. Inhale as you draw them towards the body. And just keep going here. Gaze is forward. Crown is lifted. Moving through. And switch directions. Move through any of that cracking, crunching, popping, as long as there's no pain. Shake it out a little bit. And from here, just lean back into your hands a little bit. Bend your knees. Lift your heart. Cross your right leg over your left. Inhale. Exhale, and just allow the knees to drop over to the left. Take a breath. Inhale to center. Uncross your legs. Cross left leg over right this time. If you want to bring your foot behind your ankle, if that feels comfortable to you, you can do that. Otherwise, just lift up through the heart. Inhale. Exhale, allow the knees to drop over to the right. Breathe. Inhale, make your way back to center, uncross your legs. Come on back to seated. Let's move the blanket out of the way. Now, I'd like to go ahead and swing the feet around and come into all fours. If you want to use the blanket under your knees for a little extra cushion, that can be helpful. So go ahead and make your way into your tabletop position. And we'll just work through about 3 rounds of cat-cow. So inhale as you look towards the top of your mat. Your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under the hip bones. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Exhale, draw your navel toward your spine. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, chin to chest. Round your spine, drop your tailbone. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, draw your navel in. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, drop your tailbone. Inhale back to neutral and one more round from here. Exhale, draw your navel in. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, round. Inhale back to neutral. Now 3 times for table to child here. So inhale, exhale, press the hips back. Ears in line with the arms. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, press back. Inhale back into your tabletop position, and we're just going to start to make some circles here. So we're in our tabletop, nice and steady. We're going to inhale and start to move towards the top of the mat. Exhale, press it back. So we're making circles here. We're pressing the hip out, inhaling forward, and then exhaling, pressing the outer hip in the opposite direction, or the other hip in the opposite direction. Inhaling, here I'm pressing the right hip out, exhaling, left hip comes out to the side. We'll do that a few more times in this direction, and then we'll switch to the other side. All right, let's switch directions. Take your time here. Really notice any tightness in the hips. See if you can start to move through that tightness. And start to open up in those areas. And then, of course, the further you can press the hips back, the less pressure you're going to have on your wrists for a moment or two. Any cracking or popping is okay. And then come on back to center here. We're just going to start to sway the hips back and forth. Inhale, center. Exhale. All right. Come on back to center. We're going to sit back on the heels for just a moment and just show the hands and the wrists a little love. Maybe shake out your hands. You can have a seat on a block if you like. Shake out the hands for just a moment. And then maybe a little massage to the wrists. Now, if being on the hands for a long period of time is a little bit too much for you, you can, shorten the amount of time that you're there, or you can even maybe come onto your fists. All right, so we're going to come back into our tabletop. So come on back into your tabletop position. Again, knees are hip distance. Your fingers are spread nice and wide. You're looking towards the top of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, draw your navel toward your spine. From here, we're just going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. Keep the ball of the foot on your mat and just start to make some circles with the heel. And just move in one direction. Go ahead and switch directions. Keep the belly engaged here to protect your low back. And then exhale, bring that knee back down onto your mat. Readjust yourself if you need to. Sit back if you need to. Shake out the hands if that feels good. A little massage to the wrists if that feels good to you. This is your practice. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to your tabletop position and step the left foot back this time. So we're on the ball of the foot and we're just making some circles with the heel. Keep the belly engaged, so keep drawing that navel towards your spine on your exhales. Switch directions. And then go ahead and bring the knee back down. Again, sit back on your heels. Shake out your hands. Show the wrists a little love. All right, come on back into your tabletop position. This time we're going to step the right foot back. Stay on the ball of your foot. Inhale, reach fingertips towards the wall in front of you. You're looking towards your mat. Your arm is in line with the ear. And let's take just 3 breaths here. Exhale, bring your hand back down to your mat. Knee comes back down to the mat. You can sit back on your heels if you like. Maybe just a few movements from table to child can feel good. Let's move right into the other side. So making your way back into tabletop. We're stepping the left foot back this time. We're going to stay on the ball of the foot here and inhale, reach right fingertips towards the wall in front of you. 3 breaths here. Core is engaged. Exhale, hand comes back down, knee comes back down to your mat. View table to child. From here, make your way back into tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under. And we're going to start to lift the knees just a little bit. Look towards the top of the mat. Take 3 breaths. Core is engaged. Exhale, knees come back down to your mat. Untuck your toes. Press your hips back. Child, extended child, active child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, child. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale to child. One more time. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. And we're here at tabletop. So keep your core engaged. We're tucking the toes under. On your next inhale, just start to lift the knees slightly. We're going to take 3 breaths. Nice, strong arms. Core is engaged. Breathe. and release. Untuck your toes. 3 table to child from here. Inhale back into your tabletop. This time we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the knees. We're going to press the hips back. Heels come down. Straighten the legs. We're making our way into downward dog. So ears come in line with the arms. Inhale as you start to press your sits bones towards the back wall. If your heels don't make it all the way down to the mat, that's okay. Just start to walk out the heels here. Bend your palms facing up here, fully relaxing the shoulders. Let's take 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, we're just going to slide the hands next to the knees. We're going to start to inhale, rolling up. 1 vertebra at a time. Head will come up last. A few shoulder rolls here. Back and forward. All right. So shake out the hands. Give the wrists a little love. And we're going to again come back into our tabletop position when you're ready. Come on back to your tabletop. Again, wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hip bones. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to inhale, start to lift the knees. Exhale, start to press through the palm and the tips of the fingers. Press the hips and the sits bones towards the back wall. Press down through your heels. If you want to keep a slight bend in the knee, that's okay. Otherwise, start to press down through the heels. And we're going to take 3 breaths here in downward dog. So wherever you're at is okay. Breathe. One more breath. Inhale, look between the hands. Let's go ahead and step the right foot between the hands. Left foot. The knee and ankle of the right foot are in line. I just want to start to press the hips back and straighten out this right leg. And then inhale, come back into your lunge. Maybe look forward a bit. Exhale, straighten the leg. We're folding over that right leg. Take a breath or 2. You can even shorten your stance if you like. Just keep rocking back and forth here. Inhale, come back into your lunge. Drop your back knee, shin, and top of the foot. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to press the hips back, straighten the right leg. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And just keep moving. Maybe your hamstrings are super tight today. Maybe it's the hip flexor. Hamstrings or the hip flexor. Just keep moving. Keep opening up. Let's rock one more time. Inhale back into your low lunge. We're going to scoot the blocks out of the way. Bring your hands down to your mat. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee. We're back into our full lunge here. We're going to step the right foot back to meet the left and come back into our downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Again, if your heels don't reach your mat, that's okay. You can keep a bend in the knees. Sometimes it feels good to just start out with a nice bend in the knees, and we're just breathing. All right. When you're ready, inhale and look between the hands. We're going to step the left foot between the hands this time. You can grab your blocks if you like. We're pressing through the heel of the right foot. And we're going to, again, just start to rock back and forth. We're going to start to straighten the left leg, press the heel down. And then inhale back into the lunge. Exhale, press the hips back, straighten the leg. We're squaring off the hips here. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Keep moving through. When you're ready, inhale back into your lunge. Drop your right knee, shin, and top of the foot. And we'll do the same thing here in our low lunge. Exhale, press the hips back. Straighten the left leg. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Keep moving through. You can move as quickly or as slowly as you like. Just continue with moving with the breath. And just noticing where your tightness is and where you might want to hang out for a minute longer. And just breathe into that area. And maybe it's the hip flexor. Maybe it's the hamstring. All right. Inhale back into your lunge. Scoot your blocks out of the way. Place your hands down on your mat. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. We're going to step the left foot back to meet the right this time. Readjust yourself for your downward dog, wherever you're at, knees bent or heels to your mat, wherever you're at. 3 breaths. Inhale, look towards the top of your mat. We're going to bring the knees back down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Press the hips back. Come into a nice full child's pose with arms next to your legs, palms facing up. Tip of the forehead is on your mat. Just breathe, nice and easy. Shoulders are fully relaxed here. Slide your hands back next to your knees. Inhale as you roll back up, seated. Shake out the hands. A little love to the wrists here. All right. So let's make our way back to the center of the mat. And maybe before we move into our final seated, let's come into a nice squatting posture, and you can use your block under your seat if you like. You can also use, if your heels don't make it all the way to your mat, you can always use a blanket, a folded blanket under your heels. So maybe place that at the back of your mat. We're going to bring the heels to the blanket and sink the hips down. All right, so we're sinking the hips down. The heels on the blanket can be helpful if that's not what you're looking for, but you can maybe bring your heels to the mat, but you can't, your bottom won't come down like you want it to. You can always place a block under your seat. So let's start here. Toes are out slightly, heels are slightly in. We're going to bring the arms to the inside of the knees. We're going to start to press the knees open. Lift up through your heart, lift up through your crown, palms open for 3 breaths. Bring your hands down to your mat. We're just going to start to open the knees. So make your way side to side, opening the knees. And let's come one more time into our squatting posture. Let's bring hands to heart center this time. So elbows to the inside of the knees if they make it there. If not, that's okay. Bring your hands to heart center. Lift up through the crown. Keep the heart nice and lifted. Keep the hips sinking towards the floor. 3 breaths here. Hands back down to your mat. Open up the knees either side. Rotating sides here. And let's go ahead and make our way back to a seated posture with legs in easy pose. Take a nice deep breath in as you lift up through the crown. Exhale through your mouth. Just make your way back into a normal breathing pattern. Bring your hands together at heart center. Thank you all so very much for sharing this practice with me today. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Namaste.